Hi, it's Kirsten here. As mentioned to you, I am going to bring a little bit of a video to you today because I want to actually encourage you to think about something. Now, this video actually applies to all of you who may have liked my Facebook page if you're a parent. You may have parents of older children, and what I'm about to say you may actually think is not as relevant to you, because I'm going to talk about the very early stages of deciding to become a family and when you first become a family. But can I please implore you to still think about these things? You might have to cast your mind back quite a number of years, but most women in particular are able to remember these kinds of significant milestones and reflect on how they experience them, regardless of how old their kids are. So the area of infant mental health and maternal mental health and all the research that's gone on over what seems like a gazillion years, and more recently has really involved, I guess, neurobiology and neuroscience, where we've seen how the architecture of babies' brains is actually created. All that area of research has given us a lot of information about the optimal kind of care that a baby can benefit from having in order to also have that optimal brain development. And in conjunction with that, then, the research has really looked at what does the primary caregiver, which is still traditionally mum, what does she need to have going on within her to be able to bring her best mothering self to the table? Now, there's an enormous amount of, milestones and experiences that women have that really significantly influence how they experience motherhood and the kind of mothering that they engage in, and that's important to them. And I will cover those things over a series of videos. But today I just want you to start thinking about one thing. And that one thing is, how did you find the experience of conceiving, particularly your first child? Some people look at their partners and bam, they're pregnant the minute that happens. But for many of us, we actually have quite a journey. And that journey really starts, I guess it's where we start to think about what kind of mother that we're going to be. It's when we start thinking about what it's going to be like as a mother, and all our history around being parents starts to have an influence on us, starts to, shape where we end up landing as a mother in terms of how we mother. So there's so much richness in the journey of conception. There's the stories of people who conceive easily, as I said. There's the stories of people who may conceive quite easily but have had a number of pregnancy losses, a number of miscarriages. There's people who have to go to extraordinary lengths, both emotional, psychological, and physical, and of course financial, to be able to conceive and carry a baby through full term. Now, I guess those who've had a tougher journey toward becoming a parent, it is certainly not a recipe for disaster by any means. But those kinds of experiences do actually, give you more material that then shapes your experience of motherhood and your ideas of motherhood and the mother that you want to be and the mother that you become. So all I can ask at this stage in a video, without actually having the opportunity to really talk with you about it and unpack all this stuff, is I'd love for you to at least spend 10 minutes. You might be driving, you might be just sitting having a cuppa, you might even choose to talk about it with a friend or your partner, but I'd love you to actually reflect on your journey in the conception part of life and the conception part of becoming a parent, and think about how you felt during that time and the meaning that you attach to your experience of conceiving or difficulty conceiving, and see whether any of those kinds of meanings that you generated back then are still relevant for you now. and in particular, whether you think they influence the way you parent your child. Anyway, I hope that's given you some food for thought. My goal is to give you these little tidbits over a period of time so that I can start to, I guess, encourage this whole community to think about these things and reflect on what they mean for you as individual people. Anyway, go forth, reflect, learn, discover, grow. That's my motto, and have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.